When I found out I was going to be a parent, I immediately felt a lot of anxiety and worry. So I went on to BetterHelp to try to look for a therapist to help me with that.
My relationship with my family and with my boyfriend and with myself were suffering. I really needed help.
I was ruminating a lot. Really getting those thoughts out to a therapist and getting feedback was just life-changing.
Discover what BetterHelp Online Therapy can do for you. Visit BetterHelp.com today.
Welcome to the Instagram Stories for Friday, September 2nd. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. The biggest news of the day is an internal memo that was sent to Meta employees that was obtained by The Verge. The Verge did a news story article on it. Basically, Meta is going to be setting up a product organization to identify and build possible paid features for Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Okay, let's get right into the heart of the matter, which is what you want to know. Would you be able to pay to let people turn off ads? The answer to that is no. Why? Why wouldn't you let people turn off? What do I know? In an interview with The Verge, Meta's VP of Monetization, John Hagman, said the company is still committed to growing its ads business and it had no plans to let people pay to turn off ads in its apps. Here's the quote. "I think we see opportunities to build new types of products, features, and experiences that people would be willing to pay for and be excited to pay for." End quote. He declined to elaborate on paid features that are being considered. This article doesn't have much useful information other than the fact that we know it's not going to be the ability to turn off ads. I will link to it in the show notes, but not much else there. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to have the head of Instagram talking about recommendations and sharing some things you didn't know. The Instagram Stories is sponsored by #Slayer.com. Reach new people, build your audience, and grow your business with #Slayer.com. Sign up with your email address and get your first month free by using the code IGStories at #Slayer.com. No Facebook login required. And we're back. The head of Instagram made a video talking about recommendations, what you can do to have your account recommended. Spoiler alert, you can't be a private account. I would hope you know that, but just in case you don't. Anyway, here's the clip.
Today, I want to talk about recommendations. Recommendations are photos and videos that you'll see on Instagram from accounts that you do not follow. You'll see them in Feed and Explore and in the Reels tab. And the idea behind recommendations is to help people discover amazing creators on Instagram that they don't even know about yet. And our hope is that the future of Feed will be largely driven by recommendations because we're seeing friend sharing is moving increasingly to stories and to DMs. And if we do our job right, and I want to be clear, we're not there yet, we'll help people discover amazing creators in a way that both means that people spend more time on the platform, but also that the average creator gets more reach. And if we're really thoughtful, we can shift more distribution from aggregators, who I think today get more than their fair share of distribution on Instagram, to creators. Again, particularly small creators, I think we can do more by because we want to be a platform where anybody can grow an audience and make a living over the long run. So I wanted to create a quick video giving an overview of a few key things you need to know about recommendations. First is we do have recommendation guidelines. This is guidance for what we try and recommend and what we try to avoid recommending. And it is different than our community guidelines, which are rules for what can and cannot be on Instagram at all. I also want to point out that if you want to be eligible for recommendations, if you want to show up on surfaces like Explore, you have to be a public account. We're not going to recommend something from private accounts for obvious reasons. Now, a number of best practices if you're trying to increase your reach through recommendations. First is post original content. We are doing everything we can to better understand who's posting original content versus who's aggregating other people's content. And over time, we're going to get better. So you're going to get more reach through recommendations, particularly over the long run, if you're posting your own stuff. The second is use the Reels best practices. You can read more about this in my link in bio, but there's a lot of good guidance on how to create Reels that are more likely to get recommended. And lastly, remember, search is important. Captions are key. Add some context about your photo or your video. It helps us figure out what that photo or video is about. Use hashtags. Don't use 20, use just a couple. No one really wants to see 20 hashtags. But again, that also helps us connect people with photos and videos that they're gonna find inspiring and amazing. Now, I know recommendations are a contentious issue. I wanna remind people that we have plenty of controls and then we will build more over time. You can always go to your following feed to see only photos and videos from accounts you follow and in chronological order. You have favorites, which is its own feed, but also something that we use to put content from the accounts that you favorited at the top of your main feed. And there's more to come. I will continue to give you updates exactly on where we are with recommendations and where we're going. And if you've got thoughts, comments, questions, requests for features, please comment with them down below and we'll do our best to get to them. I see you next week. Peace.
He said so much there, I don't even know where to start. I do really appreciate the fact that they want small creators to grow and they want us to be creating original content. That totally makes sense. However, it's an extremely frustrating experience when you spend a lot of time to create something completely new and original and no one sees it, which continues to be a problem. What do we do to address that problem? Oftentimes we create a reel, then we share it to our story, then we share it maybe again to a story, or we DM it to some people hoping that that gets it some traction. There's really no good way to ensure that the time and effort you put in gets rewarded. So sometimes continuing to put in that time and effort feels like a very fruitless exercise. And I don't think that the team at Instagram fully understands that frustration. Maybe I'm just in a cranky mood today, though. That's entirely possible as well. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you for listening. I will include a link to everything I talked about, including the links Adam Mosseri talked about in the show notes, so you can check it out for yourself. Thanks for listening, and be sure to come back on Monday for Mosseri Monday, where we do more Q&A.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks at Instagram, and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently until Zuck returns my DMs and starts to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacies. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.
I just want to mention that Monday is a bank holiday here in America. It is Labor Day, which is the official end of summer. We're all going to be off from work, but I'm still going to do a show. Just because you don't live in the United States doesn't mean that you shouldn't get a day of show, right? So that makes sense to me.